Courtney, a shift is still just a shift. Just a shift. So I'm proud of you for just going for it to see. Good for you. Just stir up that courage and just see where it goes.
There you go. Beautiful advice. Like lovely advice. It was beautiful. Thank you. I don't know why I'm saying thank you, but yeah. Well, welcome. Welcome to the full moon in Scorpio report. That's what we're going to do. We're doing a full moon in Scorpio, but it's GeneKey 24, GeneKey 44. And, you know, here in this one, let me share the screen with everybody, like right off the bat. I want to share screen here. This is personal, you know, this is personal. This is a intense transit for a lot of us. The Cazimi is intense. You know, we have Mars on the North Node. Okay, let me zoom in a wee bit here so we can see this a little bit better on the screen for everybody here. Okay, so we have this again, the North Node and GeneKey 22. We have grace. The opposite to that is 47. So we're looking at transforming through graciousness. Okay, so essentially these everything that's coming up, because you got to look in, you don't have to, but as I look at what's going on with like Gaza, what's going on with the world state, hold on, the world stage. Oh goodness grief, hold on. I just lost, there we go. I just lost the whole screen. Just disappeared. Wow, because that just clicked for me too. Okay, so with everything that's going on in the world right now, all right, there is a lot of it's oppression. Oppression is being like released. People are tired of being under the thumb and under oppression of this patriarchy. Okay, so internally, we're breaking free from the toxic masculine, patriarchal, narcissistic, you know, satanic, lower greed, okay, template. And there are people that hold these templates. And we were those people too. That is called the human conditioning, okay? And with Mars North Node, okay, this is our emotions are being processed through graciousness. Like your whatever is coming up, stirring up for you, it's not only just like, yes, have compassion, you know, for your, obviously having compassion for yourselves, but everything that's coming up right now, this deep emotional frustration, agitation, desire to control, desire to want things to go your way. There's a lot of this, like there's a huge weight of oppression in the collective. Like, I'm fucking tired of this shit energy. And then it's also sadness, like so many children dead, so many children dead, so many children being SA'd, so many children being trafficked, so much chaos, right? But with chaos ensues beauty. So within this chaos, right, we're being asked, like, where the fuck are you controlling? Where is this dominance? What are you trying to control? Like, right, again, everything works out. Everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. But the introspection, so let's go with the introspection into your personal charts here with the graciousness, because I want to dive into like this personal piece of the pie that you're taking. Okay, so take the dish of the karma here, and I feel like having the rapport with me, somebody like me that's in these gene keys, but not in victim mind, or at least working through my own victim mind, not always in victim mind, because I will be honest, I like the narcissist template, okay, is the unconscious being, period. The unconscious human. If you're unconscious, you're narcissistic. Okay, that's how it is. Everybody, there's a spectrum of narcissism. I just finished reading It's Not You by Dr. Ramani Dulavara, something like that. I can't say her last name. It's Hindi. And so I couldn't say it very well. But anyways, I just finished reading this, and there was a lot of agitation in reading this book. As I'm like going through the human template, right? Because of like, I do agree with a lot of, oh my God, so much stuff in that book is amazing. But with the human conditioning, how it shows up, relationship dynamics, all of these things, we're doing that in our life. We're taking these pieces. But the thing is in our relationships and in these mirrors, okay? Business mirrors, children, adult children mirrors, your parents, if you still have them, your children, right? Your relationships, your business ships, you know, all of these are the mirrors for you. And a lot of times we're not seeing it. So we want to blame, we want to project, and all these things. So the Mars North Node is like, it feels like it's squeezing all of your frustration out. It feels like it's saying, hey, you know, I'm angry, I'm rageful. And then you're like, yeah, I am. But it's like, you don't get to express it necessarily in that vengeful way. You get to express it in that gracious way where you're having compassion for the human story. You know, your human wants to be frustrated, agitated, mad, angry, vindictive, all these things. Or it wants to go into sullen, or it wants to go into denial, or it wants to. So the opposite to what the fuck? Where Saturn is at, okay, GeneKey 49 is GeneKey 4. It's forgiveness. And so Saturn is rebirthing us, okay, our new form, our new structure, our new form of government, which is ourself, our new structure, which is like the routines, or I don't like saying routines, but just the alignment that you're in and following through with right action, okay? If that's a routine for you, then so it be it, okay? So be it. But my thing is, it's this rebirth is through forgiveness, okay? And so when we're looking at the world stage or your relationships, your mirrors, it's not only a forgiveness deep in yourself, it's a forgiveness for like, because the people that have hurt you, this is where the pain comes from. This is where we get stuck, why we don't move forward, why we're in these healing. We're like, we're healing from our trauma, ancestry, all those things, right? So where we get stuck is like this lack of forgiveness, real fucking valid, like real, like tangible forgiveness. And you do have to forgive the person. You do forgive them, for they know not, period. You don't have to forgive them. No, you don't have to like them. You don't have to be around them, but you do have to forgive these people, because all they're doing is mirroring you the shit that's holding you back, whatever field that's in. Whether it's just your inadequacies, it's your sense of inadequacy, your all of that. So this Kazemi that is really moving us forward through this miraculous healing. Now we have Venus conjunct Jupiter, you know, like the two and then the sun, okay? Like the sun's in 24, right? But it just got out of the 27. It's still right there. It's conjunct, okay? And then you have Uranus in the third. So it's beautiful, like stellium in Taurus, all right? And this energy is like slow and steady wins the race. You have to have a deep sense of compassion for yourself, because your human is still going to have all of the feelings. And it's about, as they arise, say, okay, I understand. I see this. Where is this coming from? This is the deeper, where is this coming from? And say, I call in instantaneous healing. I call in miraculous healing. I call in the divine wisdom and guidance to help me move through this obstacle, this challenging emotion that I'm feeling. I'm feeling the desire to you know, let go. This is the final letting go, and you have to fucking let go. And letting go of, you know, your old story. And the story is that you're a human trying to reach some spiritual heightened state of enlightenment, when you're spirit trying to have a human experience. you're descending more spirit into the human experience. And then once that happens, then that allots for a transfiguration in the cells, and therefore your reality, your timelines shift. But if you're in resistance to your Mars, your emotions, okay, you're in denial, okay, and this is where I want to go with the sun moving into the 24. All right. I'm very familiar with this, as I know some people that are watching this or watching the replay are also familiar with this key. So this is the shadow of addiction, okay, and the city of silence. So addiction is addicted to our pain and suffering. Addiction is addicted to settling for less. And this addiction is a deep inadequacy. That's all it is. Everything is an inadequacy. The root of all of your fear essentially is the sense of inadequacy. I'm not able to be secure in myself. I'm not safe with myself. I'm not enough. Okay, so it's the 48. It's the collective EQ, right? Our Mars, whether we're forward moving or we're, burning ourselves alive, essentially. And so what I want you to look at is like just this sense of, because the 24 is also about like a deep repression. You're repressing. So we use substances, we use people, and this is like you're denying yourself love. That's what inadequacy is I'm not enough to love. I'm not lovable because the world outside me and everybody has proven it. Okay. And so that's not true. That's not true at all. But this is a massive override, a time of like changing and understanding, having forgiveness for yourself and all the characters that came into your life. Like this is a fucking absolute detachment. Uranus has moved in, it's in GeneKey 3. Okay. We are returning to our innocence, to our pure state. We're rolling back the clocks within us. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to go be 18 years old or we're going to go back to, go back in time to the Garden of Eden, which I would love to see that. What it means for me, at least this perspective, is that we're going back to who you were before you were hurt. Okay. And so this instantaneous, miraculous healing, you have to invite it in. And the more that you're fighting the mental demons and you're reminiscing on your fear propaganda, on what you bought into believe, okay, about yourself, about the way things work, all that. This is the return to the innocent state, your purity, your love, your heart opening and flowering into this position. So all the things that are awakening, because we got Mercury in, where is that? Give me Mercury. Mercury in 51. Yeah. So it's awakening. 51. Yeah. It's agitation, initiative, and awakening. So your addictions are going to come up tenfold. I mean, your coping mechanisms are going to come up tenfold. All right. Like that sense that you need to suppress, that sense of like addictive behavior, compulsive behavior, or these are shadow things that pop up. Okay. With the addiction here. But what it is we're breaking the addiction, the attachment to the old identity and the old ways that we used to show up for ourselves. And we're coming into like this presence. We call it silence, but it's just a deep inner presence. The sun is here. The collective is coming into the deep inner presence. Okay. And this is fucking scary for so many people. Like I can meditate, but I'm meditating and I'm in a different world. And that's not silence. That's again, you going off into la la land, going off somewhere else, thinking about something else. The silence is the sitting with the fucking discomfort of just the silence or the thoughts. And, like when you allow the present moment to be the present moment, Okay. This is whenever it breaks the addiction. So this is the key to instantaneous healing, is to be present in the moment, like fully fucking present, and to call in the instantaneous healing. Accept the reality in which you lived or living in the present moment are experiencing. And then you say, I call in this instantaneous, miraculous healing to return me to my purest state of divine innocence. I am releasing all of the cords, all of the connections. I am letting go of all of the memories that were attaching me to my sadness and that kept me in sadness and grief. You know, if you want to hold on to positive freaking things, absolutely. But let go of the things that you feel are weighing you down. It's absolutely unnecessary. And that's the fucking addiction. That's the dishonor that we do with Mars, North Node, conjunct. It's a dishonor to carry all of the baggage from I think of Mars. Images came to my mind. Mars is the warrior. He goes to battle. He continues to go to battle. All right. He pushes through. He perseveres with with passion and fury and vigor. All right. But if he continued to carry all of his losses of his men and his women that fought with him in these other battles, if he continued to carry the weight of their dead bodies on him, he would not be able to continue to persevere. Inevitably, it would stop him, his grief, his sadness, and he would just look at somebody that had a sword, and he had his sword up, and because of his grief and sadness and discontent with all of the baggage of his past and loss of his past, he would just let the person coming at him stab him. Dead, gone. So Spirit is saying, don't allow the forces that are coming towards you, for you, through you, to defeat you. Let go of the guilt. Let go of the shame. Let go of your denying yourself happiness because you feel remorse and regret for what you could have, should have, maybe would have done. It couldn't have been any different. Not one moment, not one experience, not one word, nothing in anything in your life. And this is where that ultimate forgiveness, you just look at yourself, the beautiful essence that you are. And when I bring these higher perspectives about, look, these are contracts. Motherfucker, you came into this genetic lineup. Yeah, you made your free will choices. Kinda. It's not really free will when you're living in fight or flight with no idea of tools and you're walking blind. You know, you might get a stranger here and there that gives you a drink of water or puts a blanket over your shoulders or comforts you or hugs you here and there. But that's not a fucking tool. That's just comfort. And say, you're alive. I see you. Keep going. Next one. So Spirit saying you couldn't have changed. Not one thing. Not one thing could be different in the past. But everything is going to be different in the now. Everything is going to be different moving forward. If you are willing to open, accept, forgive, and move forward. You are divinely inspired to do so right now. But that addiction is your addiction to holding on to regret, resentment, all of the things that you wish you would have had in your life, that you wish you would have given yourself, that you wish you would have known. Have compassion. These are lineages that we came into. You have done the best you can with what you had when you had it. And so to get out of addiction, this is the inventing. We're inventing something new, right? We're getting creative, which doesn't mean that you create to make money or profit. You're just creating to create. Like you go to build a sandcastle on a beach. You sure as shit know the wind or the water or kids are going to knock that down. But you build it anyways. That's creation. The mandala, Richard Rudd talks about in one of the GeneKeys, right? Painters paint and they give away their painting, right? It's the expression of them. That's what this is. It's the expression of you. We've been so culturally conditioned to live in a state of survival, of fight and flight, of survival, that we're addicted to the survival mechanisms, coping mechanisms. We're addicted to the seeking, to the knowing of why. The simple answer, it just fucking is. It's like math. It just fucking is. You don't understand it. It just fucking is. Hell, even Terrence Howard's like 1 times 1 isn't 1 anymore. 1 times 1 is 2. It's like, fuck it. That it doesn't matter. We're creating. Well, that's the way it's been. How could it be like any different than? Because it is. Because we created it to be. That's the ultimate fucking joy of this earth, this plane, this experience, the human, is that we are co-creating our reality. And we have aspects of us that are fighting for one way or another. And it's like they're controlling. They want to control. And it's like, bitches, it doesn't matter which side you want. Right wing, left wing, round earth or globular earth or flat earth, tropical or sidereal. Doesn't fucking matter. We're co-creating it all right now until we learn to get along. We're like, I want this and I want that. It's the control. Surrender. There's an ultimate algorithm. There's a highest timeline. There's an ultimate truth, universal truth, not an independent personal opinion, a truth or an experienced truth, but a universal truth. And that is what we are being divinely orchestrated into experiencing. Chiron in 36. The turbulence, the collective wound is in turbulence. What do you do when you're in a turbulent vehicle? Somebody's driving like a fucking reckless maniac on the freeway and you're in the passenger seat. Please don't drive with me. I drive like that. Okay? And so just letting you know, if you're scared, I'm not. But my point is, sorry, I had to drop a little less seriousness into that one. Okay, guys? My point is this turbulence. How are you in turbulence? You're like, oh my God, put the face mask on. What are you doing? Slow down. Shit, they didn't use a blinker. Fuck you. You're from outer state. What are you doing in the left lane? You know, you go Floridian on them. All right. Or Californian on them. I did the same thing in California. I think there's just something about living on the coast down south, which California's up, but I was in the south, Baja. Anyways, side note, doesn't matter. My point is like this turbulence. It's like, I want to hold on. I want to cling. I can't. Holy shit, I'm going to die. Death is inevitable. Death is inevitable. Death is inevitable. Yes, we're eternal. Not your body. Not your form. And Saturn is birthing the new form right now in ourselves that we're going to emanate into the collective morphogenetic field for everybody, and everybody else is already doing it, but for everybody else to ripple that shit. And then that starts creating the new hologram. But first we have to let go of we have to move through that turbulence with trust and know that we are going to transform. We say death, it's death and transformation. You're going to transform. And if you don't, then you're going to stay the same and you will go insane repeating the same shit and you'll want to unalive yourself. I know this from experience because it gets exhausting repeating the same shit and expecting different outcomes. It takes a mental toll, an emotional toll, and a fucking physical one too. You cannot keep having the same experiences and expecting change, something different. You have to be willing to let go of whatever belief systems that are blocking you from living your most prosperous and abundant expression of self. The one where you feel aligned to who you are. You feel alive in who you are. And that doesn't mean that you sit and you dwell and you think about what somebody else is doing, about where somebody else is in life. You stop with all of that. What do they think about me? How come they couldn't have solved that? What kind of person could do? You stop worrying about anything else but you, boo. That internal relationship that I am God, I am here to do something, make something, be something, smell something, taste something, fuck something, love something. Myself so much that I bring the I am God presence even more into this physical world. You cannot do that when your mind is spread into 70 different directions. That is the Mercury awakening right now. That's the agitation. It sounds like you know, what is that? There's, I don't know, they always play, like, not always, but in movies, you go into a coffee shop and it's like, you got like 400 people, it sounds like, having different conversations echoing off the wall, the barista going, order up, and this chaos in your mind. It's havoc in your body. Think of the fucking chemical imbalance that you're creating because you want to have control over the situations in your past. It's done. It's over. They happened. You cannot change them. Only thing you can change is the way that you view them. You perceive them, which means how do you understand that experience now from hindsight? What have you learned? What lessons have we taken from that? And then we apply it. That's how this shifts us. And so we love love. We love people. I know the empath in all of us. I know the empath in all of us. But true love is not enabling. Remember the word I couldn't remember last week? I got it this month. Okay. True love is not enabling. True love is letting shit go. And if it's meant for you, it'll come the fuck back around when it's time. And that means a creative, like a job, a pursuit, even. You know, maybe it's time for a new pursuit. Maybe it's time for a new wardrobe. You know, maybe it's time for, you know, stop telling yourself that whatever it is that you don't need to do, and you need to do it. Stop procrastinating. You know, stop, like whatever it is time to move forward. That is what the full moon is about. And Scorpio is a motherfucking death and transformation. Okay? Now let's move on to the cities. Let's move into the gifts in the cities. Let's move into, because that's the undertone message of the transformation. If anybody has anything, you want to say something, Courtney? You just lean forward. Okay, you're good. Just watch. Okay. So on the upside to this is grace. After we stop dishonoring ourselves and we come into honoring the God presence in us and seeing the God presence in all, that doesn't mean that they know it. But we're also not in a space to, I'm glad that you're here too, honey. No, what the fuck? With the 22, with the grace. So with progression forward and with the grace being bestowed into the collective, this is divine order, this is divine orchestration, and this is the Synarchy. This is the emergence of the coming of the queendom. This is what we have been doing for eons. Like, right, this is it. This is the flood of the heart gates. We have the sun, we have Venus, we have Jupiter, all of the Pleiades, the heart. Get the front door in there. Get the front door in there. Get in the house. We're going into the heart. The doors have opened. But you got to be okay with going over the precipice. You got to step over that ledge. You got to not be scared to go in that door. There's a light inside that house. There's a light inside that house. All right? And it's shining for you. Okay? It's radiating within you. Right? This is the unfolding of the gifts and the expressions of the acidic states of consciousness in the collective morphogenetic field, in our collective expression. we ascend, right? We have the yoking of the right, the involution and evolution, spirit coming into matter, matter ascending into spirit. I think I said that 5 different ways. Same thing is all it means. All right, coming together in this yoke and this harmony, you know, and that's the Siddhic state of frequency, the Buddhic like consciousness. We already see this with Terry. Like, I mean, he's done an amazing. But that's what I mean. Look at what the collective is at, where the collective is at. I posted all that shit about Terrence Howard, right? With the periodic table of elements, you know, with Walter Russell in the octave, the 404, and the elevation of frequency and how it turns from mineral into a gaseous state, and how all of those are connected with the amino acids and with frequency. Now it's all coming out. So the collective is at a Buddhic state of consciousness, and we're going to be expressing the fourth dimensional gift, that gift of being and presence and play in our holographic reality on a large scale, because of all the chaos, because of all the turbulence, right? Because of we have ended the cycle of suffering, and we have made it beyond and into the last aspects, or the beginning, not the last, but it's the last of the Piscean era. And the beginning, we're in the beginning of the Aquarian age, and it has happened. Saturn is in the 49, in line 5, which is the voice, it is the power, it is assertion, it is to build, it is to create. And so it is in the 5th line of build, speak, manifest, line 5, the voice, okay, the power. And Saturn is our time, okay, and it is how we create within the form, right? And so it's rebirthing through this Siddhic state, these Siddhic frequencies. All right, I want to read on the 49 real quick, because you know it's calling to me. So I'm going to take it off the share screen on that, and we can just be right here. And I pull, oh my God, right to it. So, the stairway to heaven, okay? And we're climbing the stairway to heaven. Oh, which deals with our mind, okay? Everything will be perfected in the body as soon as you have dominance or control, but not, those are both wrong words. You have submitted, it's the opposite of those words, actually. You have submitted, so scratch, just erase, if I could, here's my eraser, erase those last, so submit, after you submit to your heart, to your soul, to the God, and tell your mind that it just doesn't have power and authority over you. It doesn't have control over it. It wants it. It wants it because it's scared of freedom, because it doesn't know what freedom feels like. It's like Plato's, cave analogy. One of them leaves the cave. You know what I mean? The rest of them are scared to leave the fucking cave. They're afraid of the shadows that are on the wall, which plays into this, where the shadows, like, I had a download earlier. I'll get to the 49 in a second. It's called The Silent Revolution. Okay. I had it wants me to read it. I'll get the download, will come back. Yep. Okay, Spirit, I got you. I got you, Spirit. I got you. Stop it. Sit stick and stop getting distracted. It's like, calm your ADHD down, boo. It's like, fine. I wanted a different station. Fuck it. They said no. Let's go. So the Silent Revolution, as the higher frequencies, it's GeneKey 49, page 380. And I'm reading the gift. So as the higher frequencies penetrate the 49th shadow, I have to fucking say it. I don't know how to not to, but I do. But the thing with the shadow is that we're all the cells, but we're these shadows. Like we've been casted into the realm of shadows, into the realm of hell. And so we've been playing in the shadow lands, and now we're coming out of shadow land. We're coming out of delusion and illusion, our own disillusionment. We're coming out of the fucking glasses that we've put, rose-colored glasses that you know, like Free Guy in the movie Free Guy, you know, before he had the freaking glasses put on. But we're like with the glasses on already, like, oh, life is great and grand, and this person's amazing, and like, oh yeah, they did this. It's not that big of a deal. I've had worse. Like we make all these excuses, like, no, chuck it and fuck it, chuck it and throw it in a bucket. Fuck it, chuck it and throw it in a bucket. Okay? Fuck that ideology, the idolization. You're idolizing. God said, don't idolize anybody other than me, which is you. Don't put all that love into anything other than your fucking self, right? That home is you. The doors to home are open. Your home, you're open, unless you're scared to go in. But there's only boogeyman that's in there. You have faced all the boogeymans outside of you. What more are you afraid of? Okay, now we go into the silent revolution. Okay, so the 49th shadow. We will move through a time of unprecedented change and upheaval right now. This is the gift of revolution. The 49th shadow will be the first aspect of the human shadow to mutate right down to the genetic level. Hallelujah. And then 19 too goes right along with that. 19 is also one of the first keys, codons, that is experiencing the mutation. And it will be, it's the future human. It's the shaman. It's the sensitive, right? Right. And so what are we rebirthing? We're rebirthing the future human, the shaman. Okay. So the implications of this are huge, okay? These are huge because as fewer and fewer humans are victims of their emotional reaction. And that's the thing, is the more we dwell on our past, the more we focus on anything outside of us, okay, other than what we want to create and what's being, you know, divinely displayed in our external reality for us to see and communicate with, right? The more that pulls us away from our center, that pulls us away from our power, right? Just think of a kid and they're in there playing, you know, video games, because we'll make it modern. You know, they're in there doing their thing, watching a TV show, playing video games, running around with a friend. They don't give a shit you made dinner. But, right? But you're like, get in here and eat dinner. I'm making dinner. What do you want for dinner? What do you want? Oh, okay, I'll make this. I'll make that. Your people-pleasing skills go on fleek, right? Your people-pleasing skills go on fleek, right? But they don't care. The kid doesn't want to be disturbed. They're hyper-focused on their creative project. I'm not hungry, even though they're like, there's so much. They don't care. They'll know that they're like, the food will just arrive. And next thing you know, you're like, I just made you some crackers and some carrots and put it on a plate. The kid's like, yeah, cool, mom. And I still get to do my thing and I'm eating too. It was all manifested. You don't understand how much a mother manifests for their children so that they can just be children. So again, look at that as God. I know we played God as some father, some external masculine figure. It's a mother, it's a father, it's a Holy Spirit that is surrounding you like a parent, that is bringing everything to you. Just sit there and play. Stop worrying about the boogeyman who's under the bed or in the closet. They don't exist anymore. And if they do, you can make a pew-pew in your fucking imagination and blow that motherfucker out of the water. Because nothing is going to hurt you. Nothing is going to stop you. Right? That was a little bit passionate. Yeah, I almost felt like a preacher right now. Take me to church. Yeah, Jesus. Whew. Okay. Okay. So let me go. The implications of this are huge, as fewer and fewer humans are victims of their emotional reaction. Violence will rapidly decrease in the world. Just think, if you stopped hating all the things that you hate, you stop thinking about all the things that you don't like. Just like, we create less interference patterns that way. That's what creates the interference patterns. Like, you're trying to meet. I was doing this earlier. Prime example. I wanted to go for a walk by myself, but my son was having he would kept rowling up the dog, and he was sitting in front of the TV. I said, turn that shit off and go for a bike ride with me. But in truth, I wanted to go alone. I was listening to music, and I was like thinking, this is really the beginning of my new life. Wow, I'm a little scared right now. I'm nervous. I'm like, wow, my mind is there. But then I'm like, my boy's going on a bike ride with me. So I've got earbuds in. He's trying to talk to me. I take the earbuds out. Okay, I make the thing better. Being more present. No, because now my mind is not there. My mind's like, oh my God, this is really happening. What are you going to do? Like, the fear pops up. And so I'm in that state, and I'm not even present with my kid. Do you see how like disempowering that is? Feel for him. Feel for him. I invited him to do something. It's like asking a friend to go to have coffee, and you don't actually want to be there with them. All you want to do is spew your shit. You're not present. Or they're not present. How does that feel, being on the other end? You're talking to your husband. They don't give a flying fuck about what you did or had to say. They're just, you feel absolutely invisible, hollow. Just, right? It doesn't feel good. And so when God's speaking to you all around you, and your mind is in blah, 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 and you're not focused on you, and you're focused on Jim, John, Joe, and Jack, and Jim Beam, whatever. Anyways, okay, sorry. You're not bringing your energy into the moment. You're not bringing your energy into that creative project. You're not bringing your energy into the people that you're communicating with. Think if I were to sit here with you guys, with everybody here. I know I'm talking motor mouth as usual on Wednesdays, but to say, like, if you guys were speaking back to me and I was just totally lollied into my own world and not paying attention, you wouldn't feel valued. You'd be like, what's the point of showing up and speaking and saying something, right? So God said, well, what's the point? So then it slips away. God doesn't say, what's the point? But you get what I'm saying. Spirit guides are like, let's just kind of fucking null this out a little bit and see how good they do without it. Turbulence arises. More comes up. It's like, do they get it yet? No, they don't got it yet. Okay, let's pull back some more. So the more and more oppression or suppression or interference that we have, the less connected and the more disconnected we are. And that's how you need to see the majority of humanity. You are one of the few. You're what we call the chosen. You chose. Everybody's having the chaos around them. Everybody's had loss. Everybody's had hardship. The chosen means that you chose. You chose to see the hardships. You chose to face your boogeymans. You chose to change your beliefs. And Spirit, God, said, I am going to help you. I'm going to meet you. You give me 5, I'm going to give you 5,000. Give me 5 steps, and I'm going to hold you 5,000 steps more forward. Okay. And it's at that forward point and this revolution. So the humanity that is suffering, that is sad, that are blasphemous, that are living in their own sin and suffering, you cannot save them. Whatever it is, even your child, It is not your responsibility. It is your responsibility to nurture, love, and guide them as much as you can, as much as you can. But everybody is an aspect of source and they have their own experiences to have. And if they choose to get on the train that you're on, fantastic. Get out of your seat and go sit next to them if you want to. But there is no forcing anybody on that train. I think of the North Pole, Polar Express movie, right? There, it used to be one of my favorites. It still is one of my favorites, right? And the kids, they were scared to get on this train, right? That was going to go to the North Pole. It's so symbolic of going to your North Star, to your destiny. But you chose to do this. And you're doing it. And you're fucking epic. Because it takes balls to go that deep. Okay. There's my immature side. Which I'm all excited about my immature side too. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so immature. It's so funny. It is. I think it is. All right. I love me. Let's do this. So one also has to consider the environmental impact of this mutation occurring across all cultures. Men and women of peace are infiltrating all races more than ever before. The revolution is worldwide. It will continue to impact us as individuals through our relationships, which will in turn impact our families, communities, and nationality and our entire identity as a species. We see this right now. We're in this. When Saturn gets out of, I don't have it on the screen right now, but when it moves out of the 49, it goes into 30. That's fucking rapture. We're in line 5. We don't have much time left here. Saturn moves. He's grooving. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not as fast as Jupiter. Jupiter is a 12-year cycle, but, Saturn has a 28-year cycle. 28, 30-year, however you want to look at it. All right. And then I just had a screen thing that popped up and it said time. I'm going to share my screen. I'll show you so you can see it. Because as soon as I said that popped up, let's do that. Let's share my screen. See it right here? Limited time offer. And it got the time is running out. Rapture, motherfucker, is coming. Rapture in the cosmic DNA. Okay, limited time offer. Get on the fucking train. You have your ticket. Stairway to heaven. Here we go. Asgard, moving on up to the next timeline, come on. You're giving yourself that life. Okay, now I can stop sharing. You're giving yourself. You've done this. But what is holding you back is just your vengeance, your control, your sadness, woulda, coulda, shoulda, your grief, your regret, your remorse. I want to take them with me. When you go through this death, when you fucking die, unless you're a psychopath and you kill people whenever you kill yourself, right? But that's not what I'm talking about. A normal death. Your whole family don't die with you. No, they sit back and they like do their thing. They go on living without you. Again, this is a death and a transformation, and you cannot take anybody with you. No matter how much you love that person, you gotta let it go. No matter how much you wanted to save them, all the things. Okay, I'm not gonna hit that nail anymore. I'm done. It's in the coffin. Okay, so the full moon is going to be in GeneKey 44. That is a Synarchy. That will be the next key that I read right after this one. Okay. Revolution occurs wherever stagnant energy is brought into awareness. It is a direct result of your realizing that you are ill. Given that potentially violence and intolerance with the 49th shadow, you can be sure that it will not let you go without a fight. There is a genetic revolution underway right now. And one of the first things it will do is throw out the old genetic material. Okay. One way to interpret this is that everything that is rotten in the 49th shadow will be brought up to the surface. When we view humanity from the level of our genetics, it allows us to look at things objectively. You know, like a man looking at a woman objectively, like a woman looking at a man objectively. Like we sizing that bitch up. Like, what's in that package? What's in that package? Objectively. Okay. When we view humanity from a level of our genetics, it allows us to look at things objectively without our conditioning and prejudice. Okay. Seeing it's like farsightedness, essentially. It means that we can look at what is happening in the world and understand why things are occurring. This understanding from the programming partner, the gift of forgiveness. No. Gift of understanding. The city of forgiveness. I'm like, no, wait. Is what enables us to overcome. Like when we can understand like why things played out the way that they did. They couldn't have been any fucking different. The world going to shit couldn't be any different. It's the end of times. It's not the sixth root race. It's the fucking end of time. It's the end of time. Like the way that our timing, our internal timing mechanisms have been working and operating. It is the end of the way that the human conditioning has been operating. It is the rapture from the shadow and back into the fucking heart. I mean, loving heart. I'd say this word, but I shouldn't, but you know what I mean? Loving heart. Back into our bold heart. In the Pleiades. That's what it's about. And that's why this is coming out the way that it's coming out. Seriously. Okay. However, there is a very powerful force latent within the 49th GeneKey that must continue to find an outlet. The same energy that leads to killing at a low frequency retains its destructive capacity at a high frequency. At a high frequency, its purpose becomes the destruction of all things of a lower frequency. This is the ideal archetype of revolution. At a social and political level, revolutions bring a dream with them, and that dream is always to implement some form of radical change to the government, which is your form and your structure and the way that you've been living your life. Unfortunately, this invariably involves the destruction of all that came before. And usually all that was good about the old system is also destroyed. So get ready for everything to go. Like I'm literally leaving everything that I've ever known over the last 39 fucking years. Leaving it. It is done. Done. I'm going to say this real quick. When it comes to forgiveness, this has been really hard. I know you guys have watched me over the last year struggle with this, holding on to this, holding on to my safety, my security, my comfort zone, and my relationship, and, you know, the control, the ways to control. But this is it. Like I'm a living embodiment of these fucking transits. You're a living embodiment of these transits. So there is a death and transformation happening on an individual level, and that bitch is going to ripple into the collective and happen on a collective level, which will bring down all systems and structures. Do not forget that Pluto is still retrograde right now. You hear? It is retrograde in Capricorn. And when Pluto goes direct, that's whenever we're going to have the total rebirth in the collective. But we're doing a rebirth on an individual level right now. Okay. Let me talk about it. The purpose of the 49th gift is to bring this explosive new energy and awareness into the world. Not so much at an individual level, which is the role of the 55th GeneKey, but at a collective and cultural level. along with the 49th gift comes an enormous longing to reform the ineffective ways in which society operates. People strongly influenced by this gift are frequently involved in some form of interracial social reform. The 49th gift does not produce the kind of revolution that history has often seen. It gives birth to revolutionaries, not reactionaries. This urge to improve the world is anchored in a deep understanding of the world. So the people with the 49th, it doesn't matter. They have a deep understanding of the limitations imposed upon civilization by our emotional inability to see beyond our bullshit. It says tribal creeds, but bullshit. Okay? So the revolutionary awareness that we're bringing to ourselves, we're bringing it to our community, we're bringing it to our friends, right? We're outreaching, we're changing. We're not reacting anymore. Just like I was just going to say, like, when it came to forgiveness and understanding, I have with my marriage and all this you know, and the betrayal and the narcissism, like literally narcissist. And but to get it is like they know what they're doing, but they're not awake. They're not conscious. They didn't choose to take the conscious path to heal. Okay. And so the forgiveness is just that. Like if I've already been through so much worse in my life. I have been through so much in my life that this bullshit is just that. It's bullshit. And then me being angry about it, that's bullshit too. Who fucking cares? You were abandoned when you were pregnant. You made it through that. Bitch, this is fucking holy water. Watch me walk on it. That's how I feel. I have been through hell in my life, let alone being all the other things that happened to the prior to that, you know, like so many more worse things in my childhood when I was unable to even leave my environment because you can't divorce your parents. I made it through that. I made it through the Navy. I made it through a smishmortion and being abandoned and betrayed then. I've already done it. So what the fuck is this? Nothing. Same thing with you in your life. Look at how old you are. Look what you've already been through. Look back what you've already gone through. And be like, this isn't shit. You know what the hardest thing is like, actually it's not for people that don't want to admit their faults. That's hard. But it is even for us though. We want to deny our own self. We want to deny our truth. And so it is hard to look inward and be like, where am I not meeting my own needs? Where am I not loving myself? Where am I not allowing myself? Where am I limiting myself? Right? And then why? So when you can get a hold of your emotions and not be emotionally reactive, that doesn't mean you don't have passion. That doesn't mean that you don't have vigor and fire and spice when you speak and you play and you present yourself and your craft. And you can also be calm and peaceful and you know, nurturing. It doesn't matter. But I'm saying it's like, you're not emotionally, your emotions are not based on, you're not going to emotionally react based on what somebody says or does to you, because you have the indomitable spirit in you. Can't touch me now. Okay? It's like, what? Oh, you want to do? Oh, you're so cute. That's funny. Fuck off. Like, whatever. Oh, you do? That's fine. I'm glad that you're still in your suffering because you're still not I'm not glad, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you condescend that shit. It doesn't faze you. There's no fucks. Because you've already walked through hell. That's what you've done, or that's what you're doing. And that's what the collective is doing. Walking through fucking hell. And they're either going to let the fires burn them to death, or they're going to rise a phoenix. It's a choice. Again, that's the chosen. Not because they're special. What makes them special is them choosing to be. Us choosing to be. It's not because I paint better, I speak better, I look better, I show up better. No, it's because I show up. That's it. I'm not worried about the perfectionism. I'm not worried about the perfect. I'm just doing it. Like fucking God, I'm bleeding, I'm bruised, I'm broken, but I'm here. Like the song Amazing Grace is like, obviously I'm already choked up, right? Because that was my song. I don't know why, but it has always been my song. And since I was a kid, Amazing Grace. But who saved a wreck like me? You know, it's the God in you that saves the wreckage of being abandoned, abused, and neglected and rejected in this world. And Grace is here. And it's doing it. And it's in the North Node. And we got Amazing Grace coming out here. And we're in this revolution. And we are the revolutionaries. And we are birthing here this new creative expression, this new world, this new reality in this physical body, in this form ish. It'll be a different ish form. Okay. Meaning the frequency, because that's all we are is frequency, and it's minerals and water all pulsating together to create a star in a jar, and the jar is is the flesh, and the star is in us. And so there is the shift in that, and what we're here to bestow into humanity, like teach them, like the next, but we are getting rid of the old will die off. There is a fucking reset. But there is us doing our individual level, creating the impact, and then the reverberation, or we make the drop, and then the ripple goes out, right? The bell. And that's another thing. The bells are going to ring. The trumpets are ringing. The judgment day is here. This is the final this is justice. The Pleiades isn't just some fucking constellation out there, y'all. It isn't just like Cetus, or it isn't just like what's another, like, I don't know, lame ass. They're not really lame, but anyways, I just use an example of a regular like constellation. It's not a regular fucking constellation. You know what I'm saying? It's the Pleiades. It's one of the three of the Holy Trinity of the constellations. It's the mother. It is the mother principle. And how do we heal? The divine mother's love. The divine mother's love. We don't go to run to daddy for hugs and kisses all the time. No, we go to mommy gets the boo-boos. Mommy gets the boo-boos. Dad teaches us to toughen up and how to do practical shit, or at least it's how you should have it, or could, or I should, could, would, whatever. The fuck dynamics on the how it shows up in that by way. My point is, it's the mother's nurturing embrace. It is the love of the mother. Okay, and then that's what's descending into the collective. And that's going to create the next 12-year cycle right now is love. Okay. Is this embrace that we are giving ourselves, and that the universe is gifting us through these cosmic transits. And so we're going to see a whole new rise within the feminine, within what love really is, what true authentic love. So we are going to see a rise in healthy expression, healthy community support, soul families coming together. And this is the collective, pearl opening. This is the 18 going to work its magic in the collective. You know what I mean? Like, this is perfection coming to humanity. And perfection is about the mental plane. And when we can utilize the mental plane to heal, we'll have instantaneous healing. Even the manic, somebody that's embodied the 18th city, okay, the Siddhic state, fifth dimensional frequency of perfection, which you can't be perfect until all the wounds in humanity are healed. Right. And so that's what we're seeing right now, is like all of the uproar, all of the unjust, all of the everything like crumbling so that humanity can come into perfection. Right. But first, it doesn't start in perfection. Right. It starts in judgment. And then they have to build their own sense of integrity. And well, we are the pillars of integrity. While they go through, oh, I just looked at the word. They go through their judgment, because the judgment, the bells are ringing, the trumpets are going. While they go through their judgment day, we are the pillars of integrity, and we are upholding the heavenly state of consciousness and love, unconditional love, for the collective to shift those that are going to. And so this gift, the 49th gift, seeks to throw out the old ways. It also understands that certain aspects of the past must be kept intact and nurtured to fulfillment. Certain aspects of the past must be kept intact and nurtured to fulfillment. The 49th gift is a power that is already beginning to flood the awareness of many people across the globe. All right, let's talk about the city, the forking of the species. All right. I want to talk here. This is called the mystical fucking divorce. Well, it's called the forking of the species. It's rebirth. And I'm going to jump down to paragraph. No, I'm just going to read. So it says the shift of the perspective from the 49th shadow to the gift is vast, but the dimensional shift from the 49th gift to the city is like moving into hyperspace. The same energy configuration within our DNA that allows human beings to kill other life form actually carries the impetus that will give us birth, that will give birth to our total freedom. This is the deep chemical connection between the 55th city and the 49th city. Together they create the rebirth of freedom, or the freedom of rebirth. And that is where we are right fucking now on an individual level. Right now. Like, no joke. Okay. So these two gene keys bonded together, and this codon ring is codon ring of whirlwind. Okay. This city, the 49th city that will rebuild our world after the 49th gift has begun to disassemble it. To understand this, how this works, I'm not going to read any more of that. Okay. The 49th gift is revolution is still prone to going around in circles. Once we have escaped the vibration of fear, our world will indeed be different. It will improve so greatly and rapidly that it will make time itself dizzy. But further secret lurks in your DNA, and its seed is here within you right now. The secret lies in the expression mystical divorce. I'm fucking going through a real one. Revolutions, by the nature of their name, keep coming around. After the coming shift in consciousness, humanity will settle into a new pattern and a totally new cycle. The genetic filtering process that is just beginning will continue for many generations. For a new mutation to take hold of humanity, an immensely complex process has to take place. In genetics, certain genes appear to have an unmistakable effect on our behavior or our phenotype, whereas others do not. Such genes known as penetrate genes. The penetrance of the mutation in this codon, the 49th and the 55, will be so profound, the human behavioral patterns will shift dramatically. Now, look, this is why it's so important to not cast blame, shame, judgment, and hatred and vengeance onto others. Give it to God. Give it to God. Give it to God. Because again, like when we change the perspective, because you want to get out of vengeance, you want to get out of anger. You don't want your mind getting a hold of that, because then it dwindles you down to nothing. I've already been there and done that. I'm telling you, I'm sure you guys have too multiple times in your life. I know, I get it. But these are the behavioral patterns that are shifting. So when we can see them through the eyes of love, through the eyes of innocence, and just know that hurt people and they're fucking hurt. And they did not choose to open up themselves because they were too afraid of the fucking boogeyman, period. Okay. And you can't go in there and tell them that, oh, the boogeyman's not going to get you. No, they're still going to sleep underneath their covers. They're going to be scared. They have like their head under everything. It's what kids do, unless you, can I sleep with you? And then 2 o'clock in the morning, they come rolling in anyways. So it didn't matter that you checked their closet. It didn't matter that you said there's no boogeyman there. It's all in their head. And I know that sounds like gaslighting, but it is really all in our head, right? That boogeyman, that fear. So there's so much this is what's happening right now. And this is birthing the fucking Synarchy. So we know that this mutation is underway. Okay, you guys can read through the rest of the 49. I know you've read, if you haven't already, please read it. It's a great one. I'm going to go into the 44, even though I've read that a whole bunch of times too. But this is the forking of the species and the coming of the Synarchy. So I want to jump into the coming of the Synarchy and not into the dumb stuff. So, and it's part of the codon ring of Illuminati with the 50, GeneKey 50, which is, you know, harmony, the city of harmony. So we're talking about sound frequency and how we're humans, and we are based on sound frequency and vibration on our periodic table of elements and going up and turning into these gaseous states. Now, I believe that we're coming into the 7th root race. This book says that we're coming into the 6th root race. You're an individual being. You can choose on your own. I still think it's the 7th root race. I believe I'm becoming the angelic human in my body. But that's what I want to believe. And that's what I'm guided in my heart to believe. So you can believe in your heart what it is that you want to believe, though. Okay. So with the 44 and the coming of the Synarchy here and this rebirth and the cell, like the sound, harmony, part of the codon ring of Illuminati, GeneKey 50 is harmony. And the 44 is the fractal. Okay. This is karmic relationships. This is bringing all the fractal pieces back together. This is having the 44 is the master code to the 3 source codes of this matrix, of this human of our experience here. Okay, so this is the master key, the skeleton key, GeneKey, and this is where the Earth sign is. This is where the moon is for this full moon tomorrow. Okay, and so we see this unlocking the master key code program, the master genetic program. Okay, the master genetic program operates through time as well as space, since the program orchestrates human interaction through the medium of collective gene pools. At the purest level of consciousness, it is true to say that nothing reincarnates except for the fractal itself. So it is actually possible to view incarnation from a number of different ways. Okay, the 22nd GeneKey, you will learn about the subtle layers of the human aura known as the Corpus Christi, the rainbow body. When you view incarnation from view incarnation from the view of the causal body, which is what many traditions refer to as the soul, you can see how this very subtle aspect of your consciousness returns again and again. It gradually becomes more and more lucid and luminous. Your causal body, which vibrates at a very rarefied frequency, also travels with the causal bodies of others across time and space. Okay, this is the kind of cosmic relationship dance. So what I'm getting at here, I don't need to read everything about the coming of the queendom and the 44, but this is, again, the master key. This is instantaneous healing. You have to call it in. The master key code, you do this with forgiveness. You totally detach from your personal experience. I'm not trying to invalidate you, but God damn it, get the fuck over it. It happened. Whatever it was, it happened. You did whatever you did. They did whatever they did. Okay, your parents, your life. It was what it was. It is what it is. And we have to leave it there. Period. And that's challenging. I understand that. I know that you're just saying it, but you have to do it for your own fucking good. You understand? Nobody's like, I only have one parachute. And they say, take it. And somebody's getting sacrificed for it. And they're like, I don't want to leave you. Go. Go. Jump. Do it. Forgive for the sake of you. Forgive. Because this rebirth can happen in you instantaneously and miraculously. It's a frame shift. It's a full surrender. And it's a perspective that you will own and operate from. But it's a choice. And you can choose to, again, the 49, it said, you can cycle in the rebirth and the rebirth and the rebirth. You can go on samsara again. You can go on these wheels of trials and errors again. Or you can get off and transform. All right. So the coming of the queendom and the Synarchy, the 44th GeneKey, all right, and the 50th GeneKey from the genetic codon ring of Illuminati. The 50th city activates the quality of higher harmony. We can see how deeply woven it is to the human mythology. This archetype truly is. The myth of secret society. I don't care about all that. So with the 50 and the 44 active, okay, you have the 24 and you have the 44 access here as well, and the 27. Silence. So you only come into enlightenment whenever you're finally in silence, right? It's the last thing. It's silence. So not the last codon, but you come into that inner peace, like the sanctity, the silence. Okay, before you go into the one space, you go back into your God conscious self. All right. And so the 44 is the access key within the genome that does this. So it's holding the frequencies. Everything is frequency. We're frequency, just like we're minerals and everything of the earth vibrating together through sound. And so this perfection of harmony is going to be, you're giving yourself, you're giving the energies that are at play in the now moment in the heavens above, regardless if you believe in tropical or sidereal. If you just look up at the heavens above, okay, these are where the planets are at. These are the energies in play right now. Okay. And that 44 allows access for the instantaneous healing into the collective because it has access to all of the fractal lines. The 44 does. All fractal lineages, all timelines, all space, and all dimension is what that means within this universe. And so what we're experiencing right now is the stage set energetic timestamp for miraculous healing, bringing perfection to the human, and shifting into the next race and mutating, a physical transfiguration, which we've been in the process of doing. We were transforming from the shadows because we were all cells in a shadow state. Now we're coming into an enlightened state, or we are in an enlightened state, and we're no longer in a shadow state frequency. So the entirety of how our hologram is operating, our reality internally, is going to come into harmony because that's the 144,000 GeneKey, the codon ring of Illuminati, the enlightened ones, the 144,000, which means the blooming of the crown. Which to bloom your crown, you need to be in silence. You need to be in the present moment. And I say need, you know what I mean though, right? But that means, it doesn't mean sitting there in meditation and I'm trying to be silent and all things are going through my head. It actually means silence your mind. Silence your mind. Yeah, I can't do that. Yes, you fucking can. Yes, you fucking can. I can, you can. And if it comes up, if you feel like it's like, oh, this is irrelevant, but if it's something coming up that continuously comes up, ask why. Say, what are you trying to show me? What does this mean? Ask questions and you will get the answer. Okay. May even come in through a commercial. You never know. You never know. Could walk by a bookstore and there's a book that's in the window and it says something that just epiphanies you. You have no idea what it's going to be. Everything is energy. We see it as signs and symbols, but everything is just energy. And so whenever the way for miraculous healing to happen is you have to believe. And that's what we're here for. We're the true believers. That's the thing with the golden ticket and taking the train to the North Pole to see Santa Claus right here, right there. See God, this right there in the claustrum, to have the awakening, to sit at the throne of God. That's what this is. You have to have belief. You have to believe. That's what the ticket says, believe. His ticket says believe. My daughter told me yesterday, she came outside. She's like, Mom, She's like, can we do Christmas in July? She's like, I just want to have a little Christmas tree in my room and I want to decorate it and I want to have a Christmas candle. I want to smell it. She's like, I just love Christmas. And I was like, you know what makes Christmas special? And she goes, the smell, the food, the cooking, the baking. She starts naming off all the things. And I was like, and she looks at me, she goes, but I go, what makes all that? What makes all that special? And she goes, Mom. I was like, yeah, Mom makes that special. Nobody else in this house makes Christmas special but Mom. Dad could give a fuck. Nobody but me in my home makes that special. Do you get what I'm saying? Nobody but you makes that feeling special. Nobody but you makes your awakening special, your enlightenment, your journey. Like you, and your Christmas in July is, again, it's the enlightenment. That's being at that's the highest state of consciousness, right? When the sun is at its highest peak in the sky and then it descends back down for the summer. That's why it's really hot. Okay, so it's at its highest peak, it stays there for a couple of days, and it descends back down. That's the Christ Mass, up the Mass. Mass is up. Mast. Anyways, but the thing is, this is our heart awakening. This is our enlightenment. This is the blooming of the crown chakra. Okay, this is the Siddhic flowering. This is the energetic expression of the collective Siddhic flowering, of the rebirth and the revolution. This is the energy stamp timepiece for this. How quickly it unfolds is up to us as a collective. It's up to you individually, is what that means. So please, go be a little self-serving. Go be loving to yourself. Go be with yourself. Go forgive. Go throw shit. Go let out your human and say, God, forgive me, I'm still human. God, forgive me, I'm still human. Like, I forgive me, I'm still human, I'm angry. And I'm okay. It's okay that I'm angry. I am valid to feel angry. But I do see this. I do see why this played out. I see, and I have no regrets, not for 1 minute, of how it was. It was hard, but there is nothing moving forward that can stop me. Because nothing in my past, which was way worse, has ever been able to stop me. Because I have the indomitable spirit. I am the taming power of the small. I am the taming power of the great. I am the light, and I am the way. I am home. Pleiades. Where the human form comes from. These were the Lemurian mothers. This is the creators of the human form that we're in right now. They also created the Adam Cataban, the original Adam, the Lemurian Adam. That was the cosmic Adam before we descended into a more physical form. When we were a semi-etheric form, which we are returning to, which is what I'm fucking saying we're doing right now. I'm saying we're changing into the angelic form. And just like that, it will happen. The rapture is coming. Don't forget. I'm so excited. And then, because this is the last key, this is the last stance of Saturn in, it's already in Pisces. It's at 0 degrees Pisces right now. It's out of Aquarius. It's done. This is it. This is when it gets spiritual. You understand? Saturn is the structure. And now it's gone into the formless. It's gone into the spirit. It's gone into Pisces. It's gone into the ether. Semi-etheric. It's etheric. The cosmic waters of Aquarius are, there are waters. They're the emotions also. And it's the collective It's the collective. You know, that's what Aquarius is. It's the collective. It's where everything starts. You know, it's from the one to the all, and then from the all back to the one. And so Saturn is now moved out of that all experience and into the oneness experience, and now it's moved into Pisces. Okay, so where it returns home. So if we've gone from all collective soup, collective conscious, unconscious bullshit, fractal this, fractal that, and then it goes from, okay, now I pulled all my fractal pieces back together. I know my true form, my I am, and the oneness of that. And then it goes home, back to the void, back to spirit, back to Pisces. And I mean, it'll continue its wheel around, but I'm just telling you, these are the expressions that it'll take on. And so this is spirit fully coming back into your form once we get to the rapture, of course. And that is going to be, let me see, what's the shadow of that one? Oh yeah, desire. But it's actually not desire. Oh my God, I read something amazing, but it's actually not desire. Desire is not the original sin. Everything's desire is the original sin, but it's actually fantasy. Fantasy is the original spark, which is the shadow of emanation of GeneKey 41, the city of emanation. So we've been living in a fucking Maya, in an illusion, in a fantasy, denying that our true self, our God self. So I'll talk about the 30 when we get there and do the 41 emanation, desire, fantasy. We're out of the illusion. We're out of the Maya. Okay. So the coming of the queendom to awaken through the 44th city, it presupposes that you occupy what is known as a core fractal. If you are able to follow all human patterns back to their source, the Big Bang, you would arrive at what is called the 3 source codes. In other words, the compressed energy exploded into 3 primary fractal lines or arms known as the 3 source codes. And this trinary fractal branching throughout the universe is well known the modern chaos theory. These 3 octopus-like arms began to spiral outwards in ever more complex fractal patterns and gradually coalesced to form the rudiments of our material universe. Every human being alive today has within them the fractal shard belonging or resonating to one of these 3 original codes. The original trinary pattern or trinity over time has become the foundation of almost all 3 major world religions and systems. And again, like the 3 source codes, we have Ursa Major, Sirius, and the Pleiades. Okay, so those are the Mother, the Father, and the Holy Spirit, or Ray 1, Ray 2, and Ray 3. And those are the 3 primary fractals of that created the human experience. Okay. The Ursa Major is Mama Bear, again with the bear, with somebody's person hitting a bear, right? So we're like, these are symbols. I'm seeing it. Like, I feel like very soon the whole world is going to turn, like in an instant. I mean it. I feel. But again, I put shit out years before it happens. So it's happening in me, though. That's what it means. It's happening in me. So when it happens in the collective, woo woo, woo woo, let's do it. All right. So 2027 is pretty fucking relevant at this point. I'm looking at 2027 like, bitch, you the year. You really are the year. Like, whoa. If not a little sooner, maybe even 2025, but we'll see. The source code refers to hidden code written by the program that allows access to the main programming matrix. Fuck that. We're the glitch in the matrix that came here to glitch it. That's the thing, is we're the creators of this matrix. We're the original creators of this matrix. We're the ones that we came here and created all this. It's the Pleiadian consciousness, the Sirian consciousness. It's the starseed consciousness. It's the return of the mothers. And it's a return to the original fucking template. It's a return to fucking innocence. It's a return. And we're implementing in these now moments and through these calls and these conversations. I'm not trying to be narcissistic and all about myself here right now, but what I feel guided to express, like anybody else would, what we're doing here now in this ceremony and setting in these intentions and speaking over these words into our field and into our fractal and into our collective and into our humanity, into ourselves. We are creating that glitch. We are that glitch. We know who we are. We no longer need to hide it or deny it because we can take accountability for all of it because there ain't no shame in my game, baby. I played good. I played hard. I go big and I go home. Let's go home. Let's go. It's up to us to restore the innocence and the purity. But we got to do it in us. And we're setting that intention. Okay. The only way that you can influence the original program is if you have access to this code. In the case of our universe, there are 3 source codes, and the 44th city allows access to any one of them. And we're in the Pleiades, and it's the opposite to the Pleiades. The 44 is opposite to the Pleiades. So that means that it's in, the Pleiades is opposite to, what is it, the heart of the Scorpion and Ophiuchus. And then the Pleiades are being chased by Orion, right? The lower mind. All right, any hooters. So the overall fractal pattern of the universe are specific points in what we call human history that the program will mutate. In other words, it has a built-in design to evolve beyond itself. And we are that we are the design that came in to be that, okay? If we consider, once again, the synarchy of the bees, we see the existence of a kind of hierarchy, but one that is circular rather than linear. No one in the synarchy is above anyone else. At all times, there is an awareness of the group's inherent oneness. Each unit has a perfect fit in the overall geometry. If there is no resistance through the individual forms, the totality can function as one. Within the vast tapestries are centers of force known as core fractals. Core fractals are what we term enlightened beings or masters. Every time a human core fractal is awakened, the entire arm of that fractal slowly begins to awaken. Thus, it is said that certain beings or avatars come to the earth to take on the sins of the masses. This refers to the awakening of core fractals and the domino effect of their ancestral genetic chain. We have done it. We done did it. I'm just being confirmation at this point and a little bit of a strong arm and let the fuck go and get the fuck over it and have forgiveness and compassion for yourself. Don't bypass it. Totally do it. But in the end, whenever you're sobbing and crying, get the fuck up. Wipe them up. You've been through worse. Yeah, it hurts. It sucks. It's hard. But keep going. Don't stop. That's my new fucking motto is get up, girl. Get up, girl. Keep going. That's why I was saying to me, get up, girl. Keep going. Find myself crying. Wipe that shit up. Let's go. It ain't worth another tear. It ain't worth another drop. Not anymore. It all played out for me, through me. And yeah, that sounds narcissistic. I sound like a total spiritual fucking narcissist. But that's because I feel the fucking change. I'm an oracle. I'm not a narcissist because I'm awake and I don't intentionally hurt people. Okay? And I'm not in a delusion. I'm not an illusion. Like it is a very physical, practical thing in how it shows up in your life. Absolutely. But don't forget that what we're doing is for a bigger purpose, for things to show up differently in a large way. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing my personal experiences with it, because I get it. I know I'm hard. Like I know that my passion or my expression is intense, but it's because I got where I'm at with my own journey by continuing to persevere. And persevering doesn't mean that you stop and you give up. It means that you keep going. No matter how much it hurts, no matter how hard it is, you keep going. Okay, the awakening, okay, got that. The awakening of a core fractal essentially involves the death of the illusion of its individuality. The moment it gives up its independence, it becomes a clear conduit for consciousness to continue along its lineage. There are a finite number of core fractals, 144,000 to be precise, which is why this number has long been associated with secret societies of beings whose role it is to awaken the planet. One final revelation about the Synarchy is that it has existed since the dawn of time. That's what I'm getting at. It's like I brought through that during the eclipses. We're going back in time. And again, like, we're here. This is called the Synarchy. This is HUB144. Like that, like, it's, I don't have it in me to be so boastful and egocentric. You know what I mean? Like, to just make all this shit up. You know, I can't go place the planets where they are. You know, I did tropical and I was like, cool, yeah, tropical. But the planets are where they are in the sky, just like the birds. And, you know, my house is located where it's at on the ground. And, you know, you know, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm not, this is all divinely orchestrated. I couldn't make this up if I wanted to, you know? And so I'm reading this, This is evolution. It's our call. And as the universe awakens, the interference is gradually cleared. Okay. Okay, let me read this. One final revelation is that the Synarchy has existed since the dawn of time. It is simply distorted by an interference pattern that has also always been there from the beginning. This distortion or sacred wound is literally wound around the arm of every single fractal line. It is the reason for human suffering, but it is also the reason for what we call evolution. As the universe awakens, the interference is gradually cleared and the Synarchy that lies beneath emerges. Interestingly enough, humanity has always sensed the existence of the Synarchy. It lies in all of our myths of a past golden age or a future paradise or heaven on earth. It is written into our destiny to realize the synarchic nature of our species. Although the greatest irony of all is that by the time it arrives, we as individuals will have all disappeared. This is the stairway to heaven. You can take what I'm saying and feel it and resonate and apply it to your life and how it is applicable to your life, or you can walk away with it. But this is a whole new world. We don't see our reality. We perceive it. We project it. And if we're in the stairway of heaven and we're returned home and we're given back our innocence template and we come back to the Synarchy, our sacred wound is healed. Limitless, boundless, timeless. We become the I am. Okay. And how that reflects, you just be a living conduit for spirit to move through. It is that simple. All right. So full moon is pretty packed. There's a death and rebirth. And again, everything I just went over doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight and it's an all slam dunk. No, this is a cycle. These are full moon cycles. There is a stellium of planets in opposition to the full moon. Okay. This is a pretty powerful imprint, and this could take time. But it's going to take integration. When I say time, I just mean integration. It's going to take integration. All right. Persistence. Okay. You got to be your best friend, boo. You got to be your best friend, not your worst fucking enemy. Be your best friend. God wouldn't treat you like that. Don't treat you like that. Don't let yourself get down. Even if that's your mantra today, I am my best friend. Or on the days that you're down, I am my best friend. I am not my worst enemy. Let's go. Let's get out. Get up, girl. Get up, boy. Let's go. All right. If you guys would like to share, have any comments, or have anything you'd like to add, or you just want to shoot the shit and Q&A, that's totally cool. We are here. I'm going to end the live I'm going to end the live stream, not our call, but I'm in the live stream, and we can open and have fluid conversation. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for watching this video and of the Stairway to Heaven transit for the full moon in Scorpio, true sidereal astrology. And I look forward to assisting you if you're looking for help with this on any one-on-ones, or if you'd like to take a look at your chart and see the synastry and how things are playing out for you. We'd love to have you. I would love to have you and help you. If not, we'll catch you here next week on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Much love.